Welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, y'all meet another one of my crap vehicles. This is Samsquatch. He's a 1987 Suzuki Samurai that I got with the cage and this kind of front clip. Thanks to Jaden at Quest Fabrications. He was going to scrap a tin top. Said, no, don't do that. So we grafted a tin top body onto it because I love Samurais. I love the way they look. So I wanted this one to look more samurai-like. So I put the windshield frame on it and this whole tin top body because tin top crawlers are awesome. And kind of rundown is fuel injection, Samurai motor, it's coming at stock transmission. It's got a 6.5 transfer case, 6.5 gears in the transfer case, and it's a built cradle, it's an end of story cradle, twin sticks, and it's got a drive line disconnect for the rear. But that's kind of why we're here today. So it's on Toyota axles, RCV front shafts, stock rear shafts, leaf sprung, XJ rear, YJ front, and 37s. And last time we had it out, it did a stupid, and we probably got about 2 minutes of runtime. We were in there, and the driveline disconnect either exploded or something stripped, because I was on wet sand doing something crazy, and I'm sure Jaden has a video of it on his channel. I might post it here, but we blew something in the rear shaft section. The drive shaft spins over, or how do I say it? I'm seeing the output shaft from the transfer case spin, which, let me get in here. Ugh. This is the nice part about this trailer. It's got a nice little drive under thing. So this is the drive line disconnect. This is not spinning, but that in there is. So something between there and there is not connected anymore. And this is Toyota output flange with an adapter from, darn, I can't remember the name. But anyway, connect to the Toyota rear drive shaft, which is a front drive shaft, if you know, Toyota nerds want to know. You see these bolts that are backed out? I promise they're tight. It's just this center board didn't line up with this for some reason. I got to bore it out. But I'm going to be taking this apart and find out what happened between here and here and why we don't get power. Transfer case sounds fine. I wheeled the whole day in front wheel drive. And yeah, I need to find out why that happened, because we literally were 2 minutes in on soft sand and it blew up. So let's get to it. You know, through all these things, it helps to have a loving and caring girlfriend. Okay, anyway. We found the culprit. Driveline disconnect is disengaged at the moment. You'll see that it's got a little baby synchro in there, and this spins freely, right, as it should. So we'll line it up. It's supposed to do it while it's running, but all right. So this is engaged, and we still see that we still have neutrals. Well, it's got a little bit of resistance, but that is my output shaft, and either the hub that holds the main spline, the one that's supposed to stay rotating all the time, either that's stripped or stripped the output shaft splines on the T case. And I really hope it's just this thing stripped, because it would be as easy as popping this whole assembly off, putting a new one on, ordering another one of these, and then selling this whole kit, because this is not meant for 37s. This is probably meant for like something with 33s that you could slip pretty easily, because I wasn't even doing anything crazy and I popped it. So yeah, it's okay. We understand what's wrong, and I don't have my impact with me to take off this nice big nut right here and pop that dude off, so we'll leave it alone. But I'm glad it's just not the transfer case. Well, I don't know, may have to come apart, who knows. We'll see here soon whenever I pop this off and see what side's stripped. And I'm really hoping it's this guy, but that'll be on another episode. Today's episode is about Oscar. This is just a snippet of other projects I'm working on. So let's skip over back to Oscar. And here we are back with Oscar. We are gonna try and do a couple things today. Today is Sunday. I don't know what day or year it is. but it's Sunday, and I know I'm trying to get ready for next Sunday to try and have a starting and running car. There's a couple of custom things I still need to make, which I still need to make this adapter manifold to the K-Series throttle body and something for the rear of the head to channel out, which I got a couple stuff for that. But today we're focusing on fuel. So you can see I got my fuel tank set up, and I'm letting my fuel pump run and drain out the tank with my lovely assistant. I have to pull out the tank so I can weld a return line somewhere in here and the 10 AN bung underneath. So I'm draining it out, and then I will flush it out and weld it. And we're going to be running full AN line on this unit. I'm sorry, but it's Amazon's finest because I am not a gazillionaire, and AN lines are very expensive. Actually, this was still pretty expensive, but here we have 6 AN line, 6 AN return, and 10 AN from the tank to the fuel pump. Goes to the fuel filter. Then it's going to be -6 all the way out. This is for the fuel filter. I forgot to get one for the fuel pump because I ordered all this crap and all these fittings all at the same time. Here's my bung. This is my return -6 bung that I'm going to weld on the top of the tank. I still haven't received the -10, so I'm just going to pull out the tank and leave it ready as far as like weld prep and stuff and flushing it out. But I can't weld on it today, not unless, you know, somebody shows up on Sunday to deliver that, but highly doubt it. That'll be a tomorrow problem. But I can run these hoses, all these fittings and whatnot over to the car, you know, route them all throughout. This is Pop's, my 76 bus, by the way. It's, we mowed grass today, but it needs cleaned and other stuff done to it. That'll be another video for another project, but I'm not using a racing fuel regulator, so I've just had this to 5/16 barb, -6 to 5/16 barb to run to the stock fuel regulator on the ABA stuff because it provides enough pressure for what I'm trying to do with it right now. 550cc injectors, I mean, it's nothing crazy, but I got to swap out this regulator because somebody broke the tabs off of it. But I got a new one right there. Throw that bad boy in there, and then I can start plumbing fuel lines and stuff. Looks like this is starting to run thin. I hear it making lots of noise, which means it's almost about empty. But this is just the update. What we're working on today. Might get a time lapse later of routing fuel lines, but that's pretty boring. I might just leave that out of it. Explain what I did in the end. Okay, here it is again. Doesn't look like we made much progress, but we swapped out the fuel rail, and I was doing a lot of mocking up of what fuel line routing I kind of wanted to do. And I had it on this side before. The turbo being this close to the back, I'm going to do like a little 180, and it's going to come out down here somewhere. And I wanted the fuel lines to poke out through here, but dearly and truly, I can have the same outcome on the other side, plus it looks so much better in the front, and I'll explain that in a second, to have them come out through here. Unfortunately, this is not facing the wall. It's facing this way, but when I buy a nicer fuel rail, I'll have it pointing that way, and that won't be a problem. But fuel rail's mounted, injectors are tested, and they're clicking. I don't know if they're stopped up, probably, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Fuel tank's gone. The fuel pump and filter are going to be mounted right here on the wall facing that way. And then that's going to run underneath the car where all the bolts that bolt the body onto the pan go. I'll run them through there and brace them in pretty nicely. I'm looking at actually getting an aftermarket tank because I'm not a very good TIG welder, and I need to TIG weld those bungs on there. I can attempt it, but honestly, it's easier just to get another tank, make some brackets off of here, you know, some steel brackets, sink it in a little bit and whatever. So yeah, that's where we're at in that. I ripped out the old fuel line, mocked up the new fuel line. That is the old fuel line. And got some ideas on how I want to do the coolant neck that's back here. As you see, I bashed it in because this one had this set up. And I'm going to do something similar. This is very short. Dad had given me a piece of a Mazda some kind of thing they got on the head, but it's at a 90. So I'm gonna make a little adapter block out of like 1/2 inch steel or something, bolt onto the head, and then adapter to that fitting to come over to the side. It just sounds like it doesn't make sense and I'm rambling, but you'll see when it comes together. That'll put my coolant hoses, out of the way of the distributor, because it's stupid close back here to the coolant neck, because it's meant to go that way, not this way. And it should put it right back here. And radiator sitting and all this done, it should work out pretty well. Anyway, this is where we're at, and I am logging off until the next video. I'll see ya.